every Saturday we come to look at the big events of the week, and the panel gives us that in-depth analysis on those matters of national importance. Welcome aboard. My name is Prince Apollo. We hope you had a very good week, and it's been a very busy week indeed. We've lost prominent Ugandans, but also we celebrate the successes and achievements within this week, looking at the passing of a legal icon, Professor Chiduma Kubya, and in that regard, we send our condolences and commiserate with the family of a statesman, a former member of parliament, and a Ugandan who served in different capacities, both in government and in private life. We, this morning, look at some of the major stories, including the move to dissolve one of the leading opposition political parties in this country. I am talking about the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, following a delegates conference convened by the Katonga Road faction, where it was resolved that they have to dissolve the mother party, FDC, before they unveil a new political party. And we will be looking at the underlying issues behind that political move. But again, we'll also be looking at the long list of presidential advisors following the appointment of a musician, Eddie Kenzo, known as Eddie Kenzo, as a senior presidential advisor on creatives. And we'll also be interrogating the impact of those positions to service delivery and governance in general. I've been joined by Dr. Gerard Wanzala, and Wanzala is a public policy researcher, a resident panelist. I am always pleased to have him on the show. Welcome to the dialogue this morning, Gerard.
Thank you, Apollo. Good morning. Good morning, my colleague in the studio. And of course, good morning to our viewers who spend time with us every Saturday to listen to us and then engage us. I'm really happy. But special greetings to my people in the United Republic of Chirinya, where I live. I love you so much, and thank you for being part of the show. And of course, I can't forget my people in Uvulo County East, Namisindwa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for always being in your seat every Saturday, Dr. Gerard Wanzala. We've been also joined by Mr. Hamisi Walusimbi Musoke. Hamisi is the Secretary for Presidency in the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC. I'm pleased to have you on the show this morning. Speak to our viewers.
Thank you, Apollo. Let me also take this opportunity to say a good morning to everyone, and also to thank Salt Media and Pastor Aloysius for giving us this space to speak to the world, and specifically to the people of Nasana Municipality and the FDC fraternity, both local and international, that tune in. A lot is going to be aired out as we start this show.
You're not so specific on which FDC. There are several factions in FDC.
Prince, Apollo is, FDC is a one fully recognized and registered party. Those stories of sides, it's really sad.
Are you disputing the fact that you have factions in FDC?
Factions are there, but FDC is one.
Okay.
That is the difference between what we are talking about.
Praise
Because we can't have two FDCs. It is one.
Okay.
that is recognized and supervised by the Electoral Commission of Uganda. We
Pleased
can't-
to have you on the show this morning. I think those are the issues possibly will be internalizing within the show this morning. And we'll be joined by Dr. Daniel Rugarama, a scholar and a Pan-Africanist, and we'll be, of course, looking at these big stories. And viewers, as usual, you can be part of this debate and conversations. You can use our platforms, send your comments and observations, and specifically on the issues at hand. We'll be reading out those comments later in the program. I have to also inform you that you can now download the new Salt Media app. It's available on Google Store. You can look out for it on Apple Store, and it is flexible, it is easy to use, and it gives you that better experience with the broadcast, especially, and you will not miss out on those interesting and informative programs on Salt TV. So you can go now and get yourself that app, and you'll be able to watch and follow the programs not inside your premises, even on the road and elsewhere. That is why we recommend that particular app. My name is Prince Apollo. Let's kick off the big show, but before we look at the topics, there are some big stories that ran during the week. Dr. Jared Were-Wansala, quickly, if you can talk about the recall of our top diplomats. One from Canada, Ambassador Joy Ruth Acheng, who was actually deported by the Canadian authorities after, on allegations of misconduct. And again, in the same week, we saw Ambassador Henry Mayiga was also recalled from his post in Dubai after those allegations also came out, indicating that the Ugandan consulate in Dubai had been turned into a casino of sorts. Quickly, what does that mean? And well,
thank you very much, Apollo. You know our program must be educative. So to contextualize this debate, I want to somehow broadly look at what our diplomatic missions do and the etiquette that is expected of an ambassador or a diplomat, and before we can divulge into some of these facts that led to some of these issues. For the benefit of the viewers, diplomats and ambassadors represent the countries in a foreign country, in a host country. And they have specific roles that they play when they go there. One, as an ambassador, you carry the title of Your Excellency, or His Excellency, meaning you represent the country, but also in that capacity as an ambassador, you also represent the president of that country, the host country. And of course, other staff also who work with you are diplomats who are supposed to follow your etiquette. Now, ambassadors basically do a number of things. One, they negotiate agreements on behalf of their country, home countries, with the host country. They also promote commercial and business relations between the host country and the country that sent you there. They also attend, banquets, conferences on behalf of the country. And they also associate with other, missions. Like this particular one who was in Canada, she was also the dean of African diplomats in Ottawa, Canada. So you relate, you share information, and then sometimes you have a collective position, maybe as Africa. And so you are expected to be a person of a certain high caliber intelligent, someone who does research, someone who is informed of emerging global and geopolitical issues. And you also manage resources, because when you are at the embassy, we give you a building, you know, we give you the staff,
and
we
the
give you
budget.
the money. So you're a manager. And therefore, if you are managing people, you're supposed to conduct yourself in a manner that you show respect. That's how you are able to maintain the integrity of your country in the image, and also the staff are supposed to follow suit. Now, there are etiquettes that guide ambassadors and other diplomats, and this is according to the Geneva Convention that guides diplomatic relations. One, you're supposed to respect the laws and the social norms and the culture of the host country. If the culture promotes democracy, free speech, for you, you cannot go and try to interfere, to stifle with what is practiced that side. Two, you are supposed to conduct yourself in ethical way, to desist from issues of corruption and things like that. You are supposed to desist from criminal activity, using a diplomatic mission as a way. For instance, if a casino is at the embassy, you know a casino is a business, and a business pays tax, and it has to be licensed. So if you do that kind of business in the embassy, it means you're directly violating the laws of that country. So it is a don't that you're not supposed to do. And you're supposed to respect you're always to consult. That is why when you are appointed and you arrive in a country, you have to present your credentials to the leader of the host country, the president, the prime minister, and the minister of foreign affairs. Then they look at your CV and they say, oh, you are fit to represent your country. Now, when you deviate from that, it means already you are embarrassing the country, you are embarrassing yourself, you are injuring diplomatic relations, and also I will use the case of what happened in Canada. I particularly was so disappointed to see our ambassador wearing that small, the way you dress as an ambassador is very important. The muscle tight and the t-shirt, your t-shirt, holding a loudspeaker on the street and shouting, exchanging with the NUP demonstrators. Now, if you are beaten, you are putting, you know, the relations with the diplomat, with the host country in trouble, because you are not supposed to. There's an etiquette the way you behave in public events. Now, a protest of NUP is not a public event where you, as an ambassador, is supposed to go on. In case you are aggrieved, then it is only reasonable that you approach the host country and they are able to guide you on what to do. But that shouting, maybe eating, shouting in public, you know, that is so embarrassing. And even the way dodging meetings, arriving late for meetings, all these allegations have been there. Abuse of visa, you know. First of all, as an ambassador, you're supposed to assist the citizens of your country. Because the embassy, one of the roles, to assist the citizens of your country there, and also to assist the citizens of the host country who would like to travel, do tourism and business in your country. So that is one. That's what I try to point at. So now, looking at this, where could the problem be? The problem probably could be from one, the way we appoint.
Oh, the process.
The processes of appointment. But I know some of them, but I will treat the two cases differently. Because I know that the issue in Dubai involves a very high-ranking official in Uganda, and I hope the president acts fairly enough, because if sometimes directives of senior officials can be implemented by junior officers, maybe out of fear, without knowing. So I think that can be handled by the head of state. But the way we appoint, the way we vet, you know, it's not bad to appoint your supporters to go, because every government in power has its own strategic interests, what they want to achieve. Recently, we had elections in the UK, and the Ambassador Kate Eiley, who was here from the UK, was changed.
Was switched.
Switched. And they had to bring a person from the Labour Party who is coming. So it is okay to appoint party members.
Deploy NRM.
It is okay to
cadres.
Deploy NRM cadres to the embassies. But there is a checklist that one needs to do.
Okay.
The other is, when we appoint them, do we take them through the coaching orientation, because that's what some countries do. In fact, I have seen a number of countries that have a diplomatic handbook, that the day you become an ambassador or a diplomat, you are taken to, say, a civil service college, like the one we have in Jinja, and then after maybe 1 week or 2 weeks orientation, you are given a handbook, checklist, your duties. Every time it becomes like your Bible. So
it could be possible some of those steps were ignored, or maybe these diplomats were taken through those steps and they blatantly ignored what they were what they were told.
And also vetting. You know, I trust our ISO here and ESO, intelligence organs. When you give them a task, they do a thorough job. They know how to investigate, to produce. Leave these things of, you know, counter reports, people competing for favor. But I know the president receives very clear, you know, intelligence reports. Now, if someone is a known, you know, sexual abuser or drunkard, or, you know, someone who's always known for shouting in the public, and I cannot appoint that person as a diplomat to go and represent the country. So maybe it is something that we need to look at. But of course, as it is today, the way lately the president is making appointments for certain positions, I think the politics has overtaken the intentions that we need to achieve in certain positions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Jared Wanzala. And quickly, Hamis, if you can make a comment on these diplomats after concerns emerged that they actually did not embarrass themselves, but they even embarrassed our country.
I think that the issue is on who is appointed, because most of these people are appointed and travel out of the country are cadres of NRM. I think that is where the bottom line of chaos starts from.
Being cadres or NRM cadres?
Yes, because you see Awan Acheng putting on yellow on camera, showing how powerful NRM is, forgetting that he's a president in Canada.
Yeah, true. Represents the president.
He is. When the president is not around, when the president is not in Canada, he's the president. But the way she's behaving is as if, let me not annoy her, because when I saw a primary kid, the primary kid will also get annoyed and Acheng will get annoyed. Because why all this? This country is, for us all, first and foremost, the freedom of speech should be open. It should be an open card to everyone. When I have an issue to talk about, I shouldn't be blocked. But her concern was about the Ugandans who are in Canada expressing their concerns to the world and Canada in particular. The ambassador who was deported thinks that we don't have a right to speak as we are here. speaking. He thinks the only words or praises should be about praising government of NRM. But critiquing is also a sign of maturity in living, and also a sign of having a win-win situation. But the way I see our ambassadors,
couldn't these be isolated incidents? Because now you seem to bundle all our diplomats together.
It is.
Actually,
it is.
To give information, just briefly, 1 minute. I'm privy to information that there is a UK foreign national who has been living here and is currently being prosecuted in the UK. And our embassy is implicated. This was a particularly arms dealer.
Our embassy in UK?
In the UK is implicated. So that's one case. Another case. Recently, I got information there is one of the diplomats in Russia who was dating a Ukrainian alleged spy. And the matter is being investigated in Moscow. That also could be deported anytime.
So it can't be these can't be isolated incidents.
Absolutely.
No.
We had one who was accused of rape in Washington and was deported here sometime.
Chris,
long ago.
when people are appointed to these bigger offices, they reach at an apex of thinking that it is them and them all. Because look, for instance, our ambassador opening up a casino on our behalf, first and foremost, what do we gain from that business? Is it the Uganda authorities here that have okayed the business that is carrying out? And is it ESCO? We need even to sit back. Are these people taking into the norms of being an ambassador? Because at times when, let's say, I have a meeting with the ambassadors as a party, I know where an ambassador sits. I know which word I avail. I know which side. Are these people taken through all this that they have to know before becoming one?
Okay, what recommendations can you make to change all
my
this?
recommendation, I think, is to audit all our diplomats we have. We need to audit, both here and internationally. We need to audit those who are not fulfilling the intentions and obligations of Uganda as a country should be called back. People are many people have gone. I'm happy to be with a doctor here. He would be representing us in USA as a diplomat, maybe. Many people are here with skills that can help our country to grow and prosper. But look what is happening.
Doctor, what could be your recommendation before we move into our next issue for discussion? Do you think there should be an audit on all the credibility and competencies of our diplomats after these two incidents?
Yes, one, we need to audit, and then we see who is fit. They should be having performance appraisals periodically to see what they're achieving, where they have been deployed. I know that quite a number of them are posted there after losing elections as a reward, and it's like the eating, that's how they call it. Someone has been given to eat. So whether they're achieving, and then we can also, and then the implication of the actions on the country. Two, we need to improve on the orientation process for ambassadors. It is true, people can be mentored, but they need to be given time and taken through a process that builds their capacity. Three, they need to be, a continuous process that monitors what is happening through a central, but also, particularly I'm disturbed by this matter of Dubai, a situation where a person in the line ministry writes letters and directs, a consulate that you keep for me, you receive these things, you keep on this floor, and it turns out these are casino things, and with directives from a big person. What do we do? I particularly believe that the president needs to take this very, very seriously.
Finally, from you, do you think our image abroad has been injured in any way?
Absolutely. By the way, it has implications. Now, Ambassador Acheng has been expelled from Canada. If you appoint her to another country, the first thing they do, Google checks. And then they will say this one is unwelcome, already tainted. Our image in Canada is tainted because Canada respects the right to peacefully protest. And it is the police of Canada that was protecting an ambassador who even ignores the guidance of the police of the host country and go on shouting on TikTok. Where did you grow from? Huh? How were you raised?
This is the dialogue. My name is Prince Apollo. Dr. Gerard Wanzara is a public policy researcher, and we've been joined by Hamisi Walusimbi Musoke, the Secretary for Presidency in the Forum for Democratic Change FDC. Let's now go straight into our first topic for discussion this morning. We can now only wait to see how this issue will work out, because I'm sure now if we send someone to Canada, the Canadian authorities will do a double check, a thorough check before receiving their credentials.
And you see, I personally know Ambassador Cheng. Sometime when I was still active in political party politics, I used to see her at Uganda House, and that time she was a councillor, a youth councillor at the district in Kole. And so from the councillorship, she became a one-term member of parliament.
Under UPC?
Yeah, under UPC.
And UPC
was very known for
mentoring
good leaders. So
mentoring leaders.
I don't know whether it is excitement, because if you have gone through the layers of a councillor to MP, and then now you find a way to the diplomatic mission, I would think that you are a mentored person, because political leaders mentor.
Yeah,
political parties mentor leaders. And for us, at that time on UPC, we emphasized that before you go, you must understand what a party policy is. You must understand the ideology of the party. You must understand what the country's interests are. So I'm really surprised.
You're surprised, and I'm also equally surprised. Well, let's kick off the big show. Let's look at what is happening in the Forum for Democratic Change FDC. Like I said in the beginning, the Katonga Road faction held a delegates conference, and among the resolutions that were passed includes one to dissolve the mother party Forum for Democratic Change FDC. And the party leaders at Najana Nkumbi also responded strongly, questioning the legality of the meeting, questioning the legality of the leaders at Katonga, but the trade-off with and indeed the insults. One faction labeling another impositors, then another one labeling the others as masqueraders and comedians. It looks so ugly. And Walusimbi, you have to take a first shot. Tell us exactly what is happening. And from your side, how do you look at this quest to dissolve the Forum for Democratic Change political party?
Thank you, Prince. I don't know even where to start from, because dissolving a party according to our constitution is clear. Our constitution covers most of what governs as a party, and it is also goes in hand with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. First and foremost, we have EC that regulates and supervises our dealings within the country and outside, to an extent that, let's say, for example, if one time FDC mobilized more than 20 millions and it is transferred into Uganda, we have to explain. Or else that can lead to our dissolution. If we mobilize money as a party, let's say from Al-Shabaab.
A terrorist group.
Yes. That can lead to our dissolution.
As a party.
As a party. But these stories of dissolving a party, our constitution, let me read this to the viewers. Article 36 talks about the dissolution. The National Delegate Conference or the Special Conference may dissolve the party by 2/3 majority of all delegates of the National Delegate Conference and transfer the assets and liabilities of the party. Now, our brothers and friends at Katonga, we don't know even what they held. They have been part and partial.
They held
was it a special delegate
national delegates conference?
Was it a meeting? Because they are all categorized in our constitution. Was it a special delegate conference? Was it an extraordinary delegate conference? Because even when they were summoning, I think you also watched what was happening. They would say, Karamoja, let us see those from Karamoja. But as each district to be part of the delegate conference sends 5 members to be part. That is the chairman, the secretary, the youth leader, the mobilizer, and the women leader. I expected these people to call names, but they were calling groups, forgetting that even before all this, their internal leadership is not anywhere in our constitution. We cannot have an internal leadership.
Interim.
We cannot whatsoever. Their coming into leadership is also questioned because there is a court order that barred them or stopped them from having that conference that resulted into their interim leadership. There is a court order.
So you insist the what is going on are illegalities,
and I'm worried
in the sense of
yes
of the constitution of FDC.
I'm worried because
do they
the
hold
one leading them is a lawyer.
Do they follow the same constitution that you
you
were reading?
No, they are not. I've told you, this constitution works in hand with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as amended in 1995. There is a clear ruling on the meeting that they are saying that resulted into their leadership. Even the constitution we have as a party that they say they are following doesn't talk anywhere
so
about the internal
you're
leadership.
saying they cannot dissolve
They
FDC.
They cannot, because they are not leaders of the party. We had elections in October last year, and that's how I became to be.
These are senior leaders in FDC. Wait a minute.
Yes.
We have the founder president,
yes,
Dr. Kizabesije,
yes,
at Katonga.
Yes.
We have Honorable Salam Musumba, one of the founder members of FDC.
Yes.
You have Honorable Wafula Ogutu Philip,
yes,
at Katonga.
Yes.
They are insisting on dissolving FDC.
They don't have that capacity. Let me be clear and look into this camera. Dissolving a party is not something easy. It even calls for 2/3 of that delegate conference that has sat. It even calls for district conferences to forward that 2/3 of the resolutions from each district. We have around 126 districts. It has even a notice of 6 months. Our colleagues are saying they dissolved the party, and after dissolving, they have again extended their leadership. Now, which leadership? To lead what? When you've dissolved the party?
No, they extended the
they said
leadership
they dissolved
for
I
6
think
months.
You have the recordings here.
And I hope after 6 months, that's when they will dissolve the party.
They said they dissolved. And on dissolving, again, they say they extended their leadership now to lead.
No, they said they have started a process.
Yeah, they started the process. That's what they said.
I think you will hear them because me, I also have them.
Now,
and after the ruling, because there are 2 serious rulings on the very matter.
Saying what?
Even the ruling, after Esther Ambayo Justice giving a ruling, another ruling when they went to court for an application to clear or to stop our delegate conference that resulted into our leaders that we have, that is Honorable Patrick Amuriat as the president, Honorable Jack Sabit as the chairman of the party, Honorable Nathan Nandalama Fabi and others. The court, through Justice Sekana, okayed our delegate conference. That happened in Ulugogo. I think you saw it. Leaders were elected. But the way things are is like, I think you saw our people's government. You remember? I was part of, I represented the people of Nasana municipality in that people's government. And I was on the business committee.
What are you saying?
It's like, it is comment coming up. What did we gain in people's
What
government?
is it?
The people's government.
No, I'm saying you said it is what?
It is comedy. It is comedy.
They are in comedy.
Obviously, because after 6 months from now, I beg management of Salt and you, Apollo, to invite me again here. You cannot.
They won't dissolve
They
FDC.
can't. They can't.
Are they not aware of what you're talking about?
Maybe.
That there is a court order, there is a court ruling.
Maybe they are not, and I was expecting one of them to be here, and maybe he could also explain to the world, because we are speaking to the world. So it is not a Uganda-based, it is a digital TV that those outside.
I invited them, and I can say
they are online.
I can say it on camera,
because
I invited them at until the last hour when they said they are not coming.
Because what is funny with FDC, people moving away from the party. A party is a highway with offloads. One has a right to join or to leave. It is not a must. These very people have been from various political parties.
Why did
they close?
Why do you think they are?
Those from DP.
Wait
they
a
would
minute.
have closed DP.
Why do you think they are insisting on dissolving the mother party instead of moving away and forming a new party like ANT with Mugisha Muntu and Team did? Why do you think they are insisting?
I don't know, because now what is now coming up? The other time they were saying they are the right leaders.
The rightful
leaders, and they
of
insisted
FDC.
on that. Now, if you are the rightful leaders, and then what is happening? Why are you dissolving what you are leading? There are questions that they needed to be here and answer. I cannot answer what they are doing, because personally, even in the morning I was talking to the president and he told me to.
Which president now? There are two.
No, it is one. We cannot have two presidents on a party, Mami Apollo. EC electoral commission, even if today is a Saturday, but if it is a working
What did
day,
the president
we would
say?
March with you to ESA and see accredited leaders.
What did the president
FDC.
say?
He told me to tell the world that FDC is with the rightful leadership for these 5 years, and after 5 years, you are at liberty to elect another leader. Because FDC we give 2 terms, those are 5 years, 5 years. After that, Amuriat will never be our party president again. Nathan Nandalama Fabi will never be our secretary general again. They have served their 2 terms, and that's all. Yes.
You spoke with Honorable Patrick Amuriat.
And he told me, those of Katonga, you are joking and dreaming.
Did he admit that FDC is in confusion?
That is normal, and it has not started today. I think you are forgetting what happened with General Muntu. It was also confusion. What happened with General
in a state of
with
confusion.
Betty Kamya. It was confusion. What happened? Even the late Chigundu, at one time wanted to move out of the party. It was confusion. What is disturbing us is ego. People want even to lead when they are not supposed to lead. It is what is happening.
They say what is disturbing the party is money. What is disorganizing the party is money.
Not money.
Money from President Museveni. That's what they say.
Not money. It is not money. We came into FDC to have a change that can serve all of us. Even you, who is a journalist, not to satisfy our personal ambitions. Because when you look at a person, when he's in DP, confusion. When he moves in other pressure groups, confusion. When he comes in FDC, confusion. What character is that?
You are the secretary.
You cannot read.
You are the secretary to the presidency.
Yes.
And you are very close to President Amuriat.
Yes.
Do your side really have hope that this confusion, the state
Yes.
of confusion that your party is in,
Yes.
will one day get away or go away?
Yes, it will. It will. Prince, I think we here and those viewing us are forgetting. All our intention is to have a change for this country.
Okay.
But even when General Yoweri was in the bush, people were fighting from different angles. There were those in Rwenzori, there were those in Buganda, there were those in Northern, there were those in Western, but fighting, shooting at one direction. We cannot.
But
all,
now you're shooting at each other.
Yes, but we cannot be all at par. We cannot, because we came from different families.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Hamisi Walusimbi Musoke, the Secretary for Presidency in the Forum for Democratic Change FDC, Najja Nkumbi, not Katonga. Comrade Rugarama, I'm pleased to have you on the show. Quickly speak to our viewers and we continue with the debate.
Thank you so much, Prince Apollo, and salutations to my brother, Secretary for the Presidency in the party FDC, and Comrade Dr. Waza. To our esteemed viewers, I'm very happy to be with you once again. And I don't know if I should go straight to the topic. Or
You'll come. Thank you so much for coming, Doctor. And Dr. Daniel Rugarama is a scholar, but also a Pan-Africanist and a staunch supporter of Museveni or NRM? NRM. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Jedad Wanzala, you can weigh in on what is happening in the Forum for Democratic Change FDC, especially this quest to dissolve the political party, and now you also respond to what is coming from the leadership at Najja Nkumbi, labeling the Katonga faction as comedians, as masqueraders, and at the same time, the Katonga leadership also labeling the leadership at Najja Nkumbi as imposters. You can't run away to the fact that this is a state of confusion in FDC.
Thank you very much, Apple. At the moment, I watched the news of that purported delegates conference of Katonga. I shared a message on a WhatsApp group and said that probably by the time President Museveni leaves power, most of us will be in Butabika Hospital.
Why?
For mental health treatment. I have been following issues in the FDC from the time the allegations of the dirty money started. When these allegations started early last year, you remember there were internal processes at Najja Nkumbi to investigate the matter. And I remember that committee was chaired by, I want to remind the viewers so that they get a clear context, by the Dr. Frank Anabuiso, a committee of elders. And a report was presented in a national council meeting at Najja Nkumbi, where it was read, and I saw what the person who read the resolution, surprisingly, is at Katonga. That is the Honorable Proscovia Salam Musumba. She read and she said, in FDC, for us, we know how to resolve our matters, and we have resolved it. She was so happy. Ambassador Waswabirigwa chaired that meeting. A few days later, I was shocked to see Ambassador climbing over a wall, you know, saying he's running away from a meeting at Najja Nkumbi. And I was also shocked to see Honorable Salam Musumba. And by the way, partly I come from Kamuli. But there was a lot of, if you talked of that money in that place, financed, but I will not go into those details. So, days later, I saw now, issues came in. In fact, one of the resolutions that because the party structures are getting expired, the party should go back and hold internal elections. The group at Naja Nankumbi, at Katonga decided to boycott elections. The group at Katonga went in the countryside, held elections. Of course, they were not 100% perfect because there were disruptions, particularly in areas where Dr. Kizza Besigye is popular, Rukunjiri, Kabale, where people, I believe in the person, they don't believe in the institution, which is very dangerous. Because when I assume that if members support a particular institution, it should not be tied to only that individual. They should be believing in the values of this institution. In this case, this is the Forum for Democratic Change. But if Dr. Kizza Besigye doesn't contest today, then you run away from the party. Then when he comes back and he says, I've gone to Katonga, then you run, follow him.
That is the individual merit virus.
Now, it means you are not even worth of a member because you don't believe in the values, the objectives of that party, and what it stands for. So, now, these elections took place, resulting into a National Delegates Conference. As you recall, they were attempting to stop that meeting, the Lugogo meeting, but the court dismissed it. I remember the judge's ruling said a political party is not owned by individuals. It has stakeholders. In this case, thousands, tens of thousands of FDC party members in the country. So if the elections are not held and it's not renewed, the losers will be these members. You know, it doesn't belong to the leaders. And gave away, let the party go and to avoid dissolution and leading to the loss by the party members. So eventually, elections were held and the party leadership was renewed. Now, if I read that constitution the other day when I saw what was taking place at Katonga, and also I read the Political Parties and Organizations Act, and then the Electoral Commissions Act. Parties can be dissolved voluntarily and involuntarily.
Oh.
Involuntarily is what he talked about. When you are getting financing from terrorism, president investigates and the state forces, they can dissolve a party. If you don't account to the Electoral Commission how you conduct your business, renewing leadership, they can dissolve you involuntarily. If you don't declare extra finances you got from abroad because there is a cap, you can be dissolved. If there is evidence you are getting money from abroad, unknown sources.
Now in this case of Katonga.
Now, in this case of Katonga, they are assuming it is voluntary dissolution of the party. But there are conditions there. You must hold a delegates conference.
Which they held this week.
A delegates conference is a meeting of elected delegates representing structures of the party. I want to challenge FDC leaders at Katonga. When did they hold grassroots elections? For them, because the other 5 years expired and they did not hold any elections. Their constitution does not provide for anything called interim leadership. So the leadership has to be called by the existing recognized leadership. So where did they get
in
the
this
delegates?
case, the existing recognized leadership is, are you talking about what sits at Najana?
As a matter of fact, there are people who have gone to Katonga, and there are also almost over half who remained this side, elected leaders, divided, okay? Even you can see even among members of parliament, a number of them remained in Najana Kumbi, a few of them are in Katonga. So who are those delegates? Can they be verified? For me, I think what the Honorable Semjus and others are doing, I would call it a kind of political fraud on us Ugandans, because if you are saying you have decided to go and formulate a new vehicle to represent your interest, you cannot be moving forward while your feet are looking back.
I don't know how we can interpret this one, but I think, in my own opinion, I think they want to retain FDC as their vehicle.
They want to retain colors.
Yes, colors.
They
and
also want to
symbols.
benefit from the confusion. They want to benefit from the confusion that members cannot identify. That's why they have continued to call themselves FDC. I saw some of them joking, saying they want to retain the logo, the symbols, but it's not allowable in the law. You cannot register a new party with the same color, logo, same flag, same symbol. Which mad person at the Electoral Commission will register?
So, in your opinion, Doctor, what do you make of the intentions and the processes that are going on at Katonga?
No, it is the politics. You know, when you are going, I think they have learned some lessons. Honorable Betty Kamya went with very few people. UFL collapsed, Uganda Federal Alliance. The Honorable Mugisha Muntu went with some MPs, the Honorable Alassos, Winnie Chiza and others. Other CSO people joined, they abandoned along the way. The party is very small now. I think for them, they think they don't want to go that way. Since they have the founding father of the party, they want to go in a big way, at least with a sizable number.
Do you hope they will succeed?
I think they can, but I think they need to stop these jokes. They need to be serious and say, we have moved on. They look for other alliances. Later they are moving with the Honorable John Ken Luchamzis, the new people who left NUP. They are moving with some DP people who are opposed to Robert Mao.
No, I think they even work well with Chagulanyi, the mainstream NUP. Absolutely.
But there are NUP people who left, the Mukakus and others, the former DP bloc. They are still hanging. So they could tap into that, and then they announced to Ugandans, because of these grievances, we have decided to form a new vehicle. Please join us.
So you
instead of leaving.
So you join Engineer Patrick Amuriat, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, in labeling these people as jokers.
Why should you waste?
According to his statement.
In fact, months back, I saw my MP, the Honorable, and my neighbor, Honorable Semujunganda, saying that he has told his colleagues, this matter of fighting for FDC is a waste of time. They are going to form a new political party. Let them move. The time is not there.
They move. That is
finally. Okay, finally. I have seen also Najana Nkumbi is not seated. There's a drive going on in the country, e-registration and so forth. Political parties have clauses for renewal of membership. If you don't renew your membership, you may be in Katonga calling yourself a member when actually you ceased being a member long ago. Even in UPC, we used to have those clauses where you renew your leadership every year. If you don't, you are a supporter, you are not a member. Therefore, you cannot claim to hold on anything on the party.
Thank you so much. Dr. Jira Duwerewa-Nzara is a public policy researcher, and we have Dr. Comrade Daniel Garama, a scholar and a Pan-Africanist, but also we have Mr. Hamisi Walusimbi Msoke, the Secretary for the Presidency in the FDC, looking at the move to dissolve FDC and the underlying issues. We'll be going for a short break. When we return, we dig deeper into this quest to dissolve FDC, and later in the next hour we'll be looking at the long list of presidential advisors and their impact on service delivery and governance in general. Don't go away. We will be retiring Eddie Kenzo, who was appointed a senior presidential advisor on creatives this week, specifically interrogating the impact of those appointments to service delivery in the country and governance in general. Let me read some of the messages before I bring on Dr. Daniel Garama. he says, hello dialogue and the panelists. Good morning. I also support State House deployment of cadres to embassies. However, they need to be oriented. Remember, Independence Night on 4th October 20. Okay, he is talking about the Independence Night organized by House of Prayer Ministries International on 4th October at Nambole Stadium. Alex is following from Kisugu. About FDC, he says what is happening now, he does agree with the gentleman that it is comedy. And it also means without Dr. Besje, there is no FDC. I think he speaks to the to what they think, those in Katonga. Alex, in his comment, he's relating to what they think, that those they may be thinking that without Dr. Besje, there is no FDC. Thank you so much, Alex. And let me also look at another comment. He says, good morning, Apollo and the entire panel. My request to Hamis is, can he help me understand whether the subscription membership renewal are all annual, or it's only the subscription that is annual for FDC members? Thank you. I am Abel Kerwa Kampumuza. Can you respond to that quickly?
Yeah, thanks, Abel.
Renewal membership.
We have yearly subscription of 5,000, but our registration is open to even having a full-time membership, but again with a subscription. One has to subscribe his membership
to keep membership.
Annually.
So he's trying to interrogate whether the Katonga members are still legitimate.
They are not
and subscribed members of FDC.
They are not even registered members of FDC, because we have launched an online registration that kicked off.
They may register.
No, they are not.
It's still ongoing.
I'm the secretary for the president. I would be knowing that.
And I think Apple is saying they have not. But the exercise is on.
Yes, maybe they will register.
Okay.
Before they register, before they resolve, because even where they are going to ask them, you are dissolving this as who?
Okay. He is Ogwaro Peter in Kalaki District. He's the Kalaki District FDC Youth Chairperson. Number one, I want to thank you for the program, but I want to tell all Ugandans that FDC has only one headquarter, and that's plot number 1164 in Tebe Road, Najana Nkumbi. Home is home. Let the lost sheep come back and repent. Thanks. That's Katonga team. He's telling the Katonga team to come back home. Thank you so much, Ogwal Peter, and thank you for sending in these comments. You can continue to send in your comments and observations relating to the topics we are looking at. The quest to dissolve FDC. Is it possible or not? And actually, we are also looking at the underlying issues. Comrade Rugarama, what do you make of what is happening in FDC, and specifically the move to dissolve FDC?
First and foremost, we may come here in this mighty studio and this any group, be it Katonga, be it Najana Nkumbi, and it will stop at a debate. But in all fairness, the once mighty FDC, with this splinter, the Katonga group, has suffered a big crack. That we must admit. And I don't think it is in the best interest when you are looking at political parties, especially a big political party which had a national character like FDC, going through what it is going through, and you take it lightly. Because any flourishing political atmosphere and the political activities associated therein will agree with me that, look, we need a viable alternative And FDC had provided that viable alternative. And
Alternative to NRM.
yeah, to the ruling government. And I think it is not even in the best interest, if we had practiced political good manners, for even for NRM government to fight to finish off. Because you can only, they say if you want to test the size of a cock, you throw it in the rain. When it has rained on it, then you can tell that this cock is this size. And FDC not once, not twice was thrown in the rain. And I think 2001, 2006, they really came so close that you cannot simply throw away a party like FDC. But anyhow, be it as it is, I hope going forward that a solution is going to be found in one way or another. Coming back, a reconciliation and Katonga group joining Najanankumbi main headquarters, in my opinion, I don't see that coming. But you can never say never. Anything is possible in politics. But the solution, we know that it is the Electoral Commission with the mandate, the legal mandate, to do the supervision. Even, by the way, even when you do what Dr. Wanzar and my brother here, the secretary, the president's FDC, called voluntary dissolution, you still must take what you have decided on to the Electoral Commission. They may find the process not having been conducted properly, and they advise you to go back and do it properly and bring back. Even when you have voluntarily agreed to dissolve, it's not enough that you
So
may have.
It ends with the
Exactly, it ends with the approval of the Electoral Commission. That is one. But you see, unlike a company, because the company, dissolution of a company, if it is not the winding up of a company, if the very constitution of the company, the difference between now the company and a political party is that a political party, the stakeholders are the people themselves, and they are spread all over. So you do not treat the dissolution of a political party like you treat the dissolution of or the winding up of a company.
Or a private company.
It becomes that fundamental difference of whom are you dealing with.
Are you likening what is happening in Katonga as, to winding up a private company?
Unfortunately, they seem to look at it that way, or that is my interpretation. But it will not happen that way. You see, should be every year, there are returns which are made and filed with the Electoral Commission. Who filed these returns? Because FDC has filed returns. Who filed these returns?
From the letter, the statement that was released by Najanankumbi leadership, it is them that are filing returns.
No, you can even check on the website of the Electoral Commission. We don't even have, even on our phones, if we had the time, we would check. These returns have been filed by FDC Najanankumbi, and they have been accepted by Electoral Commission. So in all fairness, although I feel for Katonga, they may have grievances. We may not have to dismiss them from here, but I think the way they are going about their intentions is not going to help them nor help the members. But politically speaking, this is what happens. When, for instance, those who have faith in a mayor and vice president, Elias Lukwago, and the lawyer for the FDC, the Katonga group, those who have faith in Comrade Chiza Besigye, and they hear their leaders say, we are going to dissolve this party. Politics, there is a way politics play out. And when you do it, and I think this is what probably they are targeting, that they come out to say, we have issued a notice, within 6 months, we are going to dissolve, or even when they know they are not going to manage to do it.
But you see, you are a lawyer yourself, yes. Dr. Rugalama, you are a lawyer. Honorable Elias Lukwago is a lawyer.
A senior one.
A senior lawyer, actually.
Yes.
Why do you think, what motivates him to ride on an illegality, like you're saying, an illegality?
No, politics. And this is the point I was building. You see, politically speaking, when Council Elias Lukwago and other members within his ranks come out and make statements the way they are making them, that they are going to dissolve. Do you see, even the question you're asking me, that do you really think Elias Lukwago would say such a thing for politics' sake? Yes, because he knows, and those who believe in him and are in that group also know, that when they politically cultivate a spirit that they sustain a lie, that they are going to be able to dissolve FDC, even when they know they are not going to be able to do it, there is a group of those probably who are still hanging around Najana Nkumbi. Well, we say, but after all, the thing is going to be dissolved. Why don't we, you know, it's a possibility. And in politics, political calculations, however irritating they may be, are accepted when we are into politics. But anyhow, this is what I am seeing, that when you have Najana Nkumbi with Secretary General seal, that stamp,
seal of the party,
yes, is there. When you have them, because the iPod, I think, released the money. Where did it go? Because
he can respond.
Yes, the money went to
receiving money from government?
It went to Najana Nkumbi. Yes,
the easy money received.
It went to Najana Nkumbi. There was an attempt, I remember at least that one. There was an attempt of the accounts. And they said, no, you bring a letter from the Secretary General. Who had that letter? I mean, who had that stamp? Who had Nandara Mafavi's signature? So at the end of the day, I really don't want to say comedy, but I think in all fairness,
they are squeezing politics out of
in all fairness,
out of the whole thing.
They are playing politics too much. That to people like the Wanzaras, Dr. Wanzar of this world and what have you, they will get annoyed with them. But please don't. It is politics. You know, with politics, people want to do anything. Somebody was even making an argument that, you see, you people, you of NRM, it's because you are in power. But if you are not in power, you would even be worse than the Katonga group. You would be even worse than NUP. Because when the literature that you are exposing, that you are showing us, you would be radicals. I don't know, but I think sometimes it happens in life that we have taken politics to a level whereby it is a matter of life and death.
Before I move on to Mr. Hamis, you as a lawyer, do you think the FDC Najana Nkumbi can do anything to stop what is happening in Katonga, possibly to save what you say they are intending to achieve, possibly taking away some of the members to their side? Do you think they have something they can do?
I will tell you this, that
because
Najana Nkumbi,
because in any way, if it was an illegality, the Najana Nkumbi leadership would possibly go for a court injunction to stop the activities of Katonga. But there is no court injunction. They are holding their delegates meeting day in broad daylight. They are issuing and passing resolutions. What is happening?
You see, Najana Nkumbi, just like Katonga, they have got bright people there. And I believe each
Council
side,
Yusuf Nsibambi,
yes, each side is my former teacher. He told to me commercial transaction.
Why aren't they stopping the comedy they are talking about?
No, but what I want to tell you and tell our viewers is that sometimes you don't have to ride in the storm in order to prove that you are a man. What Najana Nkumbi simply is doing is to look at people who are rolling themselves in the mud and they are wondering, are these ones, what is the problem?
Thank you.
They are just leaving them that way. Because why should you call a tea drinking party and you say that is a delegates conference? We know how delegates conference is.
It's you who calls it a tea drinking party.
Not, it cannot
For
be,
them it is a delegates
it
conference.
cannot be a delegate. No, let me actually sort out this. A delegates conference, by even the constitution of FDC, is called by who? There is an individual who calls, or an office that calls that delegates conference. Where even the delegates conference, by the way, that was held by the mainstream of FDC, there was an attempt to stop it, and there is a court ruling that you cannot do that.
Okay, let's hear from them quickly because we have to move on to the next topic. Are you just looking at them? Don't you think what the activities they are undertaking actually injure the integrity and the prospects of the
The
party?
political support.
Yeah.
Praise. We are in politics and we usually sit and draw scenarios, but first we have a resolution of not going to court whatsoever because we are taking who to court. That's what they want, so that we go to court, but we will never go to court. For what?
You don't want to take strangers.
Right now we are in Busoga region, and our activity of e-registration is on today in Jinja. We've traversed this country. We're in Kasese, we're in Teso, we're in Bugisu, and what we are again having as an ongoing activities, candidate identification and recruiting members and training them. We are going into an election.
So you let the comedy go on. What you call the comedy go on?
Let them go on.
You just leave.
Right now we are.
I mean, you just let the activities at Katonga injure the image of your party.
They are at liberty. They are at liberty because you were talking about the Katonga team. Then how about those who cannot even allow you to go on a street and demonstrate about corruption? We have a lot on table.
You admitted that your party now is in a state of confusion. So you let the confusion go on?
Confusion cannot be solved by confusion.
Okay. You think the going to court or doing anything is confusion also?
It is again confusion because you are taking you are taking who to court.
Let me hear from Dr. Gerard Welewanzala as we conclude.
But before Gerard comes in, I want to get this correctly.
Yes.
The constitution of FDC,
Yes.
when somebody ceases paying membership,
He ceases to
does that person still remain a member or
he
not?
ceases to be a member, and
Can you look for that
There are three
provision?
It is here.
Let me hear from you
There are three circumstances under which a person can
as
cease to be a
he
member.
looks out for
As
that
he looks.
provision.
One is upon death. Two, failure to subscribe. And then three, you quit the party and go to another one. And then four, if you choose to contest as an independent against your party candidate, you cease to be a member.
Of FDC.
Of
Even you are forgetting the one of being hostile to the party. What they are doing, they are hostile to the party.
It's also in the party
Yes, you
constitution.
cease to be a member.
So that's what it says.
Yes, it is
Because
here.
that is what?
That
That
is
is
Article
12
12.
secession.
Yes.
Is it A, death of a member, resignation by a member in writing, the
They have
Secretary
not,
General?
they have not resigned.
Well, you don't have to fulfill all of them. One is sufficient. Then dismissal of a member by the party's recognized constitutional
Did you dismiss
organ.
them?
Yes, there are even some who are at Katonga that were dismissed.
Okay.
And they on
This is
record,
worse.
they on file.
If a member joins another party or in an election stands as an independent,
They have not joined another party.
I think
They
E-
have stood,
I
they
think
have
E-
run as independents, and they are at Katonga.
I think E is the worst. E engage in activities hostile to the party.
You cease to be a member.
So they, according to the constitution,
Yes.
they are no longer legitimate members.
Because there is absolute
Doctor,
evidence.
finally from you, here we have a scenario. We have the Katonga faction, which the Najanankumbi headquarters deem as illegal, an illegality, involving in an illegality, and they do not take action. Do you think they should be taking any action?
I will reason with experience. When we were fired from Uganda House in early 2000 by Dr. Obote, when he brought in the exile group and some of his, and some not Otunu. They are Kenas, others. There's a group that came from exile and established something called the Constitutional Steering Commission. We ran to court with Dr. James Rwanyarare, who was students. I was a leader in Makerere. That case took a long time. Even our lawyer now is a judge. We failed to resolve it legally. Subsequent court petitions in the UPC have not solved the political question.
So even if they go to court,
yes,
they may not get anything
absolutely
positive.
Political challenges are better solved by political processes. And the better they concentrate on what they are doing, registering members, recruiting new members, instead of engaging in diversionary conflicts.
Okay.
That is the best strategy that they can take.
Did Mugisha Muntu die?
Now
when he moved
does
out?
doesn't this state of confusion really keep the prospects of FDC as a party, I mean, at minimum?
Definitely, persistent conflict destroys institutions. But if you realize that you will not go far by continuously engaging, you rather focus on what you are left with. And I think that's what the leadership at Najanankumbi is doing, saying, well, others have gone. If they reconcile, they can come, but it's their choice. If they don't come back, let's continue. Okay. And we see what we can achieve. And by the way, I observed similar scenarios in Zimbabwe. The movement, democratic change of Morgan Shangarai, and then Nelson, the current opposition leader, Chamisa.
Chamisa?
Yes.
The
party split, the conflicts like that. Eventually, the party that they called small upon the death of Morgan Shangarai. Now Nelson, Chamisa is close to being president of Zimbabwe. He actually won elections, but you know what happened?
I'm not sure about the winning, but he has scored handsome.
No, but you know how the elections were? They are worse than what we hold here.
So what do you project in? I mean, after these 6 months, the extension they
are not going to
passed
dissolve
as a resolution.
They are not going to dissolve the party because they are not able. They are alien to the leadership of the FDC. Probably they are not even members, so it's not going to happen. Two, but I'm privy to information that in final stages of unveiling that party, and they are going to unveil it. They will go with a sizable number of FDC members and supporters, or previous members and supporters, but others will remain, and eventually they will participate in the next year's elections
as a new
political
vehicle. Party.
But my request to the Katonga leaders, the Lord Mayor, he was a good legislator in Parliament. We have garbage. I passed today in Nakasero. There's a lot of rubbish in town. There are a lot of challenges as a city.
So he has a lot.
He has a lot on his table.
Plate.
I think he would do us a good service if he organized himself as a leader and engages government constructively on issues, instead of wasting a lot of time calling himself a president of a party, which he is not.
So your projection is they are going to form a new political party.
Yes, he can be a president of that
They
party.
won't take the DP and UPC direction where you have just factions.
By the way, DP and UPC have the most loyal members, I think.
But they failed to form another new political party.
Yes, because they believe
stuck to the mother party.
Because they believe in the ideals of their party.
Your final prediction, Dr. Daniel, do you think they will they will give us something different from the DP and UPC case?
Now, what I know for a fact is that the members of the Katonga faction, majority of them are a fighting group.
Defiance.
The history shows that they have been fighting and they are not about to stop. They are going to push this, although they may not have 100% from their own very own members' support, but they will push it. They will have to see to it that upon the lapse of the 6 months, they have done something about the dissolution. Of course, they are going to hit a dead end, but they will try nevertheless.
Thank you. Thank you so much, the panelists, and thank you so much, our viewers. You can keep the conversation going on. Send in your comments and observations via our SMS platform, our WhatsApp platforms. Tell us what you think about the prospects of FDC and especially the Katonga faction. What do you hope they will turn out to be after the 6 months time extension they gave themselves after that delegates meeting or delegates conference? But quickly, let's move on. Dr. Jared Wanzala talk about the ever-growing list of presidential advisors. Now we have Eddie Kenzo, Edilisa Musuza. Those are the real names. Edilisa Musuza now as a newly appointed senior presidential advisor on creatives. I think it's a 200 plus list of advisors for President Museveni, but of course we've heard of sentiments that these do not even have time to meet the president. But this goes directly to the it affects the consolidated fund directly, because they draw salaries, they are given privileges, they are actually given vehicles and escorts. What do you make of the impact of these presidential advisors?
Apollo, recently I was engaged in a certain workshop, certain debate somewhere on the panel, and I was saying that countries don't develop by accident. Countries don't develop by accident. The actions, the values that leaders hold, the actions that they take are what determines whether a government, a country will go forward or it will retrogress. Coming to the issue of presidential advisors, I listened one day to the late Tamale Mirundi a few years back. He said, you know, he was carrying the title of senior presidential advisor on media, and he said on air that he had spent 7 years without meeting the person he advises, the President of the Republic of Uganda. And he was saying he was at pain because why would he continue eating taxpayers' money when he doesn't see? And he said, what was more disturbing, he said that people, when he got an opportunity to finally meet the president, the president informed him that people had informed him that Tamale Mirundi was mad, was crazy. And so, if the president was privy to that information that his senior presidential advisor was crazy, then are you being advised by a crazy person whom you are paying? You know? For me, that one brought a lot of questions. Just like I have always debated here, that you can have a more effective cabinet if you have, it's below 30, that you can have a more engaging meeting, a more constructive meeting.
30 in size. Numbers.
As opposed to say 90. You are 90 in a room. That becomes a political rally almost. It's not a cabinet meeting. And then when you go and look at a minister you have appointed, comes with an extra official car, extra security cars, security at home, allowances, You know, a lot of things come with it. So basically, even when the economy grows, you are spending more money on consumption than on investment. If you have 100, over 100 advisors,
200.
200, for God's sake, what are they all doing? Now, then there is this issue we have introduced that is going to create laziness, kill innovation, like the artists. Ever since Bobby Wine came into the elections, I think the president was so much threatened. So many musicians have found themselves as presidential advisors. Butcherman, we have our staff here, Full Figure. We have many others.
Kusasira.
Catherine Kusasira. Kusasira used to move with money in buy sacks and giving. I used to wonder how they account for that kind of money. And now these guys, instead of being in the studios, being creative, of course they need financial knowledge, because many of them had worked and earned a lot of money all over Africa, like the comedians and all. But again, they would go for bad deals and lose this money. So at the end of it all, they have all become predators on the consolidated fund. Because my understanding of celebrities is that you have that special skill, that special knowledge that inspires others, and therefore you use it when you earn. Probably you can support charity, or you can train other kids for them to become useful to the community. But if all of them are now following the taxpayers' money, then the whole essence of celebrity
your concern, Dr. Gerard, is on the numbers.
Yes,
the huge list of advisors.
You know, every presidential advisor comes with a car. You see, it must be brand new. When they are sick, they fly them abroad. So if I saved all that money, in 5 years, probably I can have a cancer institute, a cancer branch of cancer institute in every town, in major towns of the country.
So it is the
misplaced priorities. Misplaced priorities
the
for the
huge
country.
cost of administration.
Yes, we have prioritized paying supporters. We are not thinking about...
You don't see a service they offer.
No, take the issue, this embarrassing issue of Chitezi. KCCA people say that I've been putting in the budget some money to transform how we are managing solid waste in KCCA budget every year. When it reaches there, it is all chopped and they leave us with the 4 billion, which is for paying trucks and so forth and some little money. So we are prioritizing paying people. If you got that money cumulatively and invested in recycling, production of biogas from the garbage that we produce here, probably Luzira should not be using firewood. How much sewage is generated by Luzira?
It's also a question of priorities.
Yes, we are not thinking for the country. We are only thinking about power retention.
Thank you so much. Viewers, you can continue now sending in your comments and observations. We are looking at the long list of presidential advisors and interrogating their impact or the impact of their offices to service delivery. Comrade Rugarama, let me hear from you, a staunch supporter of NRM and President Museveni. Is it partly why President Museveni has been in power for all this long? Because he receives counsel and advice from very many circles, including musicians, including markets. We have a presidential advisor on markets and all that.
On culture in
First of all, it is unfortunate that in the last about 10 or so years, maybe probably 15 or so, if my memory serves me right, our party has largely relied on patronage. Now, that's not a good practice. But we have a lot of patronage, and that's why we compromise on quality. You know, as long as you get, with all due respect, because I know there are a number of very good ambassadors. But if you say, because so and so failed to be an MP, and I cannot see him or her just there,
Have to
then
deploy
he
him
must be
or her as an ambassador.
somewhere. I don't think that's a good measure for getting somebody to represent a country at that diplomatic level. In the same way, we have had a growing list of presidential advisors,
RDCs.
senior presidential secretaries, and with all due respect to them, because I really have nothing against them as a person, I don't see them doing the work they are actually assigned to do. Recently, not long ago, we had, because you know at every district we have got district RDC, then deputy RDC, now we have assistant RDC. I still don't think that was necessary. You see, what happens especially with our NRM is that when you come out and talk the way I'm talking, then
You sound like opposition.
they are like, actually for them you're even worse. Because we have a growing crop within our party who are oblivious of the original core mission of NRM, and they don't even care to read. All they are fighting for is to get fixed somewhere, and their core job is to fight whoever comes closer to them, or even whoever they suspect that he or she may challenge their authority. Now, as NRM, that is very sad, but it is very true. That's what is there.
What you're saying, what you're doing is criticizing the decisions of your national chairman.
Not exactly. I'm looking at NRM. You see, let's learn to separate parties that, even on the African continent, by the way, that have managed to go beyond their chairpersons are the parties that have survived. Chama cha Mapinduzi. It was not all about the late Kambariga Mwalimu Julius Nyerere and all these subsequent leaders. The ANC, when they were holding their leaders accountable, now that they are no longer doing it the way they used to do it, you see what is happening. They didn't even raise the simple majority to form a government. Until and unless NRM goes back to the original, and that's why, by the way, the original opposition, this FDC, was more credible. Because the NRM people would sit back and hear Besigye talk. They say, I think there is a point here. There's also a point there. Now, some of them would not come out to say it.
So you also don't agree with the president appointing this this whole list of
No, I absolutely don't agree. And all my submission has given credence to the fact
You
that
don't see any value.
there is no value for money. It is just, and I started before by saying patronage. I wouldn't mind, by the way, if they were picking out, you know, there is somebody you don't necessarily, I, for instance, don't agree with the Ibrahim Semujunganda politically. But when he stands up to make his submissions, be it in parliament or elsewhere, I'm like, oh yeah, I think there is something, us as NRM, we can learn and change.
So the element of patronage really
It has never been good.
discredits the whole...
You know, when you overdo it, patronage in every politics, by the way, even in America, somehow,
politicians, everywhere across the world,
yes.
they reward
Absolutely.
their cadres.
And I'm saying that, you see, there is a level whereby when you go beyond, even your own people are bound to say, no, I think
the
this
presidential
is,
advisors, it has
wrong.
gone beyond.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Hamis, quickly talk about the value attached to this office of presidential advisors. Do you see value anyway?
I see nothing because the way things are, it's now President Museveni advising his advisors, not the advisors.
That is the joke that has been running
No,
around.
it's not a joke. It is a serious issue that is happening seriously. What
But
could be
you
the-
don't
what could be apart from
you don't know whether they
apart
are,
from-
they meet him or what. We are not we can only speculate. They
No,
may
but
they
why
may
should
be
it not
advising
be
him.
made formal? Because when we have cabinet meeting, don't we all know that there is cabinet meeting? Don't we all know that there is caucus? So where is that meeting called
On
advisors
phone. They
meeting
can
with
advise
the
him on
president?
phone.
Please,
No.
please, seriously, without joking. When do you think has Butcherman ever met Museveni?
I don't
And
know.
what is that specific role that Butcherman is playing that Kenzo cannot? That Kenzo is playing that Butcherman cannot play. I hear creativity. Oh, creativity. Oh,
Creatives.
creatives. What is the role of this lady who is in health, who talked about the expensive rats that had to be imported?
Oh no,
Mushenera?
that is for
Mushenera.
innovation, science and innovation.
Isn't she also an advisor to the
No.
president?
No, she's
She's a minister for
That's
science
a
and
minister.
innovation.
Yeah, that's
But
what is a
before
minister.
she was a presidential advisor.
And innovation science.
To recall. Now, what is that creatives we are talking about? That
No,
is-
here are
that-
creatives.
The one who is
I think
handling
in arts and
I
music.
think, I think
Music
get me,
and-
I think get me right.
How about Bebe Cool is
What
doing
is Catherine Kusasira playing in this? And what is our role on appointing this? Because all this happens to satisfy our interests as Ugandans. It is not the interests of the president that should override our interests. We are Ugandans.
Our musician is complaining.
We are looking.
Maybe their interests
We are looking.
being
we are looking
catered for through
at
their advisors.
A budget of 18 billions that has to cater for the advisors, that has to cater for the deputy RCC, that has to cater for the RDCs, that has to cater for. What is the value for money?
And for
In
me,
all these appointments that is happening, if it is about having a bodyguard, having a car, having a good house, and traveling out for treatment, it is okay, but it does not impact to a local Ugandan who is a trader selling mangoes on the street.
Okay.
Very soon we may even have one who advising on traders.
Yeah, we
hawkers.
already have.
But
we have,
where,
we have a
where
senior
is he?
presidential advisor.
We are in a country where my
trade.
auntie doesn't have space to trade. We need that street, or William Street, that on Thursday, my auntie or uncle will be allowed to sell fruits on the street. They are being chased out. What are they doing? Well, because Apollo, Prince, I think among the 200 plus advisors, kindly allow me to ask you, mention one advisor you see that is doing the job right.
No, it is
One.
the appointing authority
One,
who
no.
knows, who advises him, who gives him what, and
But
No,
they
probably
advise Muhammad
they are
Museveni.
making monthly
They
reports.
advise
But even
Muhammad
then,
Museveni on our behalf.
even when they are making monthly reports, truth be told,
Yes.
really, that's too big a number, and the truth of
What
the
is the
matter
role of
is
the
that this is
cabinet?
patronage.
What is the role of the deputy minister?
actually minister,
Because
also advisors.
they are advisors in ministerial lines. What is the role? If it's not all about making people shine and happy in their homes, when Ugandans
it's rewarding royalty.
Ugandans are suffering,
Yeah, let me give you a
when
scenario.
Ugandans are
just-
suffering really.
we are running out of time. I'll give you
Because I wish they had got someone, not Kenzo, because Kenzo is somewhere, somehow. If they had picked someone as they picked Butcherman, was a bad rough man.
You have issues
But
with
Kenzo is
Kenzo.
no,
You see,
but Kenzo is somewhere to
I've
advise
read
for the creativeness.
I've read through an interview with Kenzo, and Kenzo
Yes.
seems to be a respected figure in the music and arts industry. He has won awards, global awards. He has. He's actually a
We are
leader.
proud of him,
Apple.
and actually
So,
we want
so
him to.
possibly, if the
Apple.
president needs advice on issues relating
creatives.
to music and creatives, possibly he's the right man.
What could be the role
Okay.
of the cultural center, the dairy
I'm-
group, and
I'm-
what? Because the
I
government is
I request
putting
that
a
you
lot of
I
money
request that
in
you
all this.
utilize at least
Yes.
1 minute as your parting shot. It may not be related to what we've just
We are discussing.
Speak to our viewers as we conclude the show.
It has been a nice show to me. really to sit, I wish I had sat the other side to sit between doctors. I'm very happy, and I am also thinking beyond what we've said. I know we've annoyed those that have been viewing us.
Especially Katonga. People
Katonga,
you are
the way
labeling
doctors
comedians
say,
and
that has been for the show and the viewership. We, as FDC, we are going to Busoga region to register our members there. And FDC is a national party. Let's live along the politics that is being played. We have leaders that are representing us nationally. We have members of parliament that are representing this country nationally. So we are looking forward to have a fruitful moment after all this happening. Thanks for your time, Mr. Prince.
Thank you.
And the management of Salt Media.
Thank you. Dr. Daniel, quickly.
The FDC factions are not helping us politically. The Katonga group will certainly continue in its endeavors. It will hit a dead end. I'm not a prophet, a Jewish prophet, but I can tell you this. That does not necessarily mean that the Najana Nkumbi, after winning the battle, will ultimately win the war, because the war is to change leadership. It may take them much longer. The list of ever-increasing list of presidential advisors and
One
other
time you
related,
may be appointed an advisor on law and
but
Pan-Africanism.
but if I was, even if I was appointed, I believe Apple and those who know me would say, okay, fine. That's what I think. They would say, I think this was a good pick. But there are people you see really.
So in your
and,
case, it
my
is
problem
okay.
is too big, the size and the quality.
And the quality.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Jared Wanzala, your parting shot?
Two things. One, I want to request the president to stop this patronage. Musicians had one association, but the moment they went to General Salim Saleh and money was given to them, now they have split, they have three, and they all go for money of the taxpayer. Eddie Kenzo recently received billions from the taxpayer, and it was so interesting that when the minister Nyamtoro got him as a boyfriend, instead of taking her to her parents, she first took to
Kenzo.
Eddie Kenzo. She first went to introduce him to the president. So now if our president is the one who is meeting people's boyfriends, who is the, you know, that kind of reward system.
But Kenzo is Ugandan.
Why that?
No, I mean, it's this patronage we are talking about. If I have my boyfriend, I take to my parents, not to the president who is very busy. And then lastly, we have the issue of FDC. We all benefit from good institutions. I request the Katonga group to be honest Ugandans, form their political party. We wish them well. We are not annoyed with them because we don't have to anyway. But it is confusing the masses. We have less than 2 years to elections. We should have political parties that outlive individuals. If Dr. Kizza Besigye today moved away from Katonga, probably it would totally hit a dead end and they would scatter. So I am requesting that we form institutions that outlive individuals.
Thank you so much, our viewers, and thank you so much, the panel. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel Rugarama, a scholar and a Pan-Africanist. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamisi Walusimbi Musoke. Thank you for coming. And Dr. Jared Wanzala, a resident panelist. Thank you so much, our viewers, for the comments and observations. Some of them, we left them behind because of time, but we'll catch up again next Saturday in another edition of The Dialogue. I can't forget our producers, producer Caleb and Harriet and Favor. Thank you so much. Let's catch up again. Good afternoon. God bless you and God bless Uganda.